Lovely record by Al Martino on Billboard's Hot 100 of September 23rd, 1967. He debuts at number 88 that week with More Than the Eye Can See. And I'll talk to you more about the record in just a minute. A little bit of history first on Al Martino. Got to learn a little bit about Al Martino, doing a little research on him. Um, he came from an Italian family. His family were Italian immigrants, and from originally from Philadelphia, late 40s. Al Martino. He moved to New York City. He recorded some sides for the Jubilee record label, but in 1952, got himself a massive break. The Place, the TV show, Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts. He was in the competition, singing contest. He won first place. He covered a Perry Como song. As a result, he got a deal with an independent label called BBS. First big single, Here in My Heart, came out in 1953. It was number one for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. He released a succession of singles, top 40 hits, about several top 40 hits in 1953. And something interesting happened. Like, I'm kind of confused about this. The Mafia took notice. Now, it might be because of his Italian connections, because Al Martino's family, they were in the construction business. And as a matter of fact, when Al Martino was very young, he worked as a bricklayer with his brothers. And somehow the Mafia must have came into the picture somehow. But the bottom line is this. The Mafia bought out his contract. And then, guess what else they did? Boy, these guys are ruthless. Boy, well, I can't say it on YouTube. It's just a phrase that I read that John Kennedy used one time that I can't say here. Uh, but they made Al Martino pay them $75,000 to protect their investment in him. That's what I took it as. Well, he went to England for a while, had some success in England, came back here in the States, but had a hard time getting some traction, despite signing up with 20th Fox Records because rock and roll had taken over. This guy's not a rock and roller. He's a mainstream performer. But he did strike gold. 1963, I Love You Because. Huge hit. It was a cover of a country record that came out in 1950. Spanish Eyes was another big one for Al Martino, but more on the adult contemporary charts. He was a presence on the adult contemporary charts in the mid to late 60s. His singing style, think Dean Martin. I mean, the crooners. Dean Martin, Jack Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, Andy Williams. He had such a smooth, melodic voice. It's soothing to listen to. The wash of strings that envelop you at the beginning of this record. It's beautiful, and his voice just shimmers. And let's go to the Billboard's Hot 100. This record, More Than the Eye Can See, peaked at number 54. No surprise there, really. He was more adult contemporary. Kind of hard to fit him in between, say, a Beatles record and a Jimi Hendrix record, needless to say, although that is a little extreme. Quite frankly, a lot of top 40 stations didn't play Jimi Hendrix when he was out back in the late 60s. But at number 88, he peaked at 54. This was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 6 weeks. But now here's the thing about this song. Al Martino had some versatility. You might remember in 1976 he did a disco version of Ferrari. 1976. This song, it's got a Four Seasons influence. It sounds like a Frankie Valli record in a way. With when he gets into the chorus of the record, and he's got a little guitar going, which is sort of a little bit of a nod towards rock and roll, a little bit of a nod towards 1967. And one of the reasons why this sounds a little bit like a Four Seasons record, guess who wrote it? Bob Crewe, producer of the Four Seasons, produced all their big hits, the Four Seasons. Guess who else wrote this song? Larry West. Larry West, who co-wrote Bend Me, Shake Me with Scott English. He co-wrote Mr. Dream Merchant, Jerry Butler in 1968. And Larry West, probably best known for writing Rhinestone Cowboy. And Bob Crew and Larry West wrote this record. Billboard's Hot 100. I think I've already mentioned this. In case I didn't, this was on Billboard's Hot 100 for only 6 weeks. But it's a jam. It's a nice, beautiful record. Al Martino, More Than the Eye Can See. Billboard's Hot 100, September 23rd, 1967.